In the ancient world, a time dominated by kings and male warriors, one woman carved her name into the annals of history with a sword in one hand and a rudder in the other. This is the story of Artemisia I, the formidable queen of Caria. Born around 520 BC, Artemisia inherited the throne of Caria, a region in modern-day Turkey, after the death of her husband. But she wasn't just a queen by title. She was a ruler in every sense of the word. She took command of her city-states, including the famous Halicarnassus, and proved to be a shrewd and capable leader. However, her true legend was forged not in a palace, but on the high seas. Caria was a satrapy, a province under the vast Persian Achaemenid Empire, ruled by the King of Kings, Xerxes the Great. When Xerxes decided to launch his massive invasion of Greece in 480 BC, he called upon all his subjects to contribute ships and soldiers. Many rulers answered the call, but none did so with the flair and ferocity of Artemisia. While other leaders sent their generals, Artemisia decided to lead her fleet personally. She commanded 5 triremes, the most advanced warships of their time, and joined the colossal Persian armada. This decision alone was extraordinary. A woman, a queen, leading her own ships into one of the largest naval invasions in history? It was unheard of. Herodotus, the ancient Greek historian, often called the father of history, was particularly fascinated by her. He writes that her ships were the second most famous in the entire fleet, surpassed only by the ships from Sidon. This wasn't just because she was a woman commander, but because her counsel was highly valued by Xerxes himself. Before the pivotal Battle of Artemisium, Xerxes held a council of war with all his commanders. He asked for their opinions on whether to engage the Greek fleet in a naval battle. All his generals, eager to please the king, advised him to attack, all except one. Artemisia stood up and offered a dissenting voice. She argued against a direct naval confrontation. She astutely pointed out that the Greeks were far superior sailors, as much as men are to women. She advised Xerxes to instead use his massive land army to his advantage. She suggested a strategy of patience. Keep the fleet close to the shore, support the army, and let the Greek city-states, which were often disunited, eventually run out of supplies or fracture from within. She warned that a risky naval battle could lead to the destruction of his fleet and jeopardize the entire campaign. Xerxes was impressed by her intelligence and courage to speak the truth, even when it was unpopular. Herodotus notes that the king praised her highly, valuing her opinion above all others. He said, "My men have become women, and my women men." Despite his admiration for her strategic mind, Xerxes ultimately sided with the majority and ordered the attack. This led to the indecisive but costly Battle of Artemisium. Artemisia fought bravely, but her prophecy of a difficult fight against superior Greek sailors proved correct. The real test of her cunning, however, came at the Battle of Salamis. This was the decisive naval engagement of the war. The Greek fleet, though outnumbered, had lured the massive Persian armada into the narrow straits between the island of Salamis and the mainland. In the tight confines, the Persian advantage in numbers became a disadvantage. Their ships were clumsy, disorganized, and easy targets for the more agile Greek triremes. The battle turned into a chaotic rout for the Persians. Xerxes watched in horror from his throne on a nearby hillside as his mighty fleet was systematically destroyed. In the midst of this mayhem, Artemisia found her ship being pursued by an Athenian vessel. With escape routes blocked by other panicked Persian ships, she was trapped. Seeing a friendly Persian ship from Calinda in her path, commanded by a man she had a known feud with, she made a split-second decision. She ordered her helmsman to turn and ram the allied ship. The Calindian ship sank instantly, with all hands lost. The Athenian captain pursuing her saw this and made a logical assumption. He must be chasing a Greek ship, or at the very least, a Persian vessel that had defected to the Greek side. He broke off his pursuit and turned to find other Persian targets. Artemisia had saved herself through an act of cold, calculated deception. From his vantage point, King Xerxes saw the maneuver, but got a completely different impression. His observers reported that Artemisia's ship had bravely sunk an enemy vessel. Not knowing she had just destroyed one of his own ships, Xerxes was once again filled with admiration for her prowess. He famously exclaimed, "My men have become women, and my women men." This single act, a mix of desperate survival and brilliant trickery, cemented her legend. While his other commanders were fleeing or failing, Artemisia appeared to be the only one fighting with courage and success. After the devastating defeat at Salamis, Xerxes was at a loss. He called another council. Should he stay and fight, or retreat to Persia? Once again, his advisers told him what they thought he wanted to hear, urging him to stay and avenge the defeat. And once again, it was Artemisia who gave him the wisest, most pragmatic advice. She told him to leave his general Mardonius with a strong land army to continue the campaign in Greece, while he, the King of Kings, should return to Persia. She argued that if Mardonius succeeded, the glory would still belong to Xerxes. But if Mardonius failed, it would be the loss of a mere general, not the great king himself. His own safety and the stability of the empire were paramount. This strategy allowed Xerxes to save face, retreat without appearing to be a coward, and protect his throne from potential uprisings back home. Xerxes listened. He commended her wisdom and entrusted her with a most important task: to escort his own illegitimate sons safely back to Ephesus, away from the dangers of the war zone. By following her advice, Xerxes likely saved his own life and his empire. The following year, the army left under Mardonius was decisively defeated at the Battle of Plataea, ending the Persian invasion for good. Artemisia's counsel had been proven right at every turn. After her service in the war, Artemisia returned to Caria and continued her reign. History doesn't record much about her later life, but her legacy was secure. She was more than just a warrior queen. She was a brilliant military strategist, a clear-eyed political advisor, and a master of survival. In a world defined by rigid gender roles, she shattered every expectation. She wasn't just a woman in a man's world. She was a leader who outthought, outmaneuvered, and outdared the most powerful men of her age. Artemisia of Caria remains one of history's most fascinating and complex figures. A queen who led from the front, a commander who valued strategy over bravado, and a woman whose cunning and courage earned the respect of the most powerful king on earth. Her story is a timeless reminder that true leadership knows no gender, only wisdom, will, and the audacity to command your own destiny. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the life of a legendary queen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories from history.